Oh, fuck. Hope it is. If not, I'll have no choice but to end everything. Oh no, it's
Like
working.
everything.
Yeah, I'll have to burn my apartment building to the ground. Don't tell them.
Okay.
But it's working. So, what I'm gonna do, I am going to learn how to use Blender. Uh, background, I don't know how to draw for shit. But I used Maya before and actually like made stuff with it. It's been a long time since I had though, and Maya's expensive as fuck. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna have like background music play. I should have checked that it would work to where it's silent so it's not distracting me, but we're gonna find that out soon. Uh, but the person I'm following is called Blender Guru, so I'm assuming he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Uh,
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
I do. I would like to think that. I don't know. I didn't check. And it is his, and I'm not joking, a Blender beginner donut tutorial.
Donuts. Fucking love donuts.
So I'm gonna have like according to YouTube, royalty-free lo-fi music play in the background while I do this. And I guess it'll just be talking mad shit during the middle of it. Typical shit.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if I put this all the way down. You can't see any of this, so let's see. Damn. How can I have it?
Not at all. Go right ahead.
What I'll do is have it very low, and to just increase DP in Twitch thing. I'll do 10. Yeah, that should be good. I can max. These are all be theoretically chill beats to drop and listen to. Wrong beats. Alright, let's see if I can learn Blender.
This big window that you can see right here opened up.
I have 5 faith in you.
Out of?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Whether it's an animation or an arc or anything like that, it all happens right here. So by default, you can see you get 3 objects.
Of course, you're like freaking one tile too big.
Or a piece of string that's a lamp, and then you've got a camera. This little, what do you call that? Like a triangle arrow looking thing. It's a camera, okay? And then if you were to render this by going to render image, or hitting the hotkey F12, it would take a snapshot from that camera view, okay? And although this looks very similar to what you were just looking at, this one actually has lighting information, okay? You got shadow, you had some light coming off the top here, and if you had textures or materials and everything else, it would all be calculated, okay? So
I'm an
if
idiot.
you've already used other 3D software, you're already familiar with the concept, but this is one of the basic principles of 3D rendering. What you build in a 3D viewport is sort of like a simplified version of what it is you're trying to create. And then when you're ready for that final image, you hit render, and then it uses your CPU or your GPU to crunch all the numbers and calculate the light and the bounces and everything like that to create that final beautiful image. So that's the basics. All right, but you might notice like, okay, well, all right, let's just move this thing. How do we even do something basic?
Well,
like
you found it
There's
in
2
other
ways you
people.
can do it. One would be to use the.
In other words, it exists in us as human beings.
You can
Love.
see that over the cube now you get these arrows. If you were to
Beauty.
click and drag on any of these arrows, you would move it along
don't
my
know
hands
who
are
I
off
am
the
unless I know
clicker.
who you
It's
are.
just attached to your cursor, basically. G. And then if you just do a single left click, it will confirm its movement. So G, click. And my cursor could be anywhere, right? And I can do, which is actually good, because you don't have to like think about where is my cursor. I have to like get it over here and hit it. No, it's really, it just allows you to look really fast. Excuse me, again. 2 minutes into the video.
Oh, it is. Okay.
4 minutes. All right. Anyways, now one thing you're missing with this is those axes lines, like being able to move it along a specific axis, is actually a really common action. You want to use it all the time, and you can do that after you have hit G by typing the letter of the axis. So there are 3 axes, and the axes letters are X, okay, which is the left and right, Y, which is back and forwards, and then Z, which is up and down. Some 3D softwares call the Y-axis the up and down, but Blender's it's the Z, the blue.
Huh. Well, that's
Alternatively, you can also, as you're moving,
Is
if
it
you
though?
hold down
Yeah.
on your mouse on the scroll wheel, if you push in, that's
Oh,
called the middle
he's telling me to use a scroll
Push
wheel.
in,
That's not
it
happening.
clicks, and just hold
It's
that
scroll
down.
wheel
Someone
shit.
got a new mouse?
No, I refuse.
Jesus, dude.
Drag it to the nearest line, nearest axis, and it will automatically snap. to
Disgusting.
which
That's
is
why I'm
really
not getting a new mouse because of that.
not too bad.
Because a door picture?
So
Okay.
that's moving things. Now the other 2 actions.
Didn't know you were such a pansy.
And scale. And you can, again, you can use the tool just by clicking here, and you can, rotate
Why do you have an ice storage? I don't need ice storage.
thing, scale, exact same thing, scale it like that. But again, I recommend learning the hotkeys, which you can learn just by hovering over it. Yeah, the hotkey for this one. So where it says shortcut, shift spacebar, it's technically true. You can activate it from this little menu here. You can hit shift spacebar, but it's the one after that.
Oh,
Really easy to remember. R for rotate.
oh my
Okay, so
god,
rotate.
that keeps
And then you
freaking
can
the
hit
fuck out.
the letter of the axis as well, or do that same
Right
holding
round,
the middle
baby.
mouse button.
Right round.
That's weird. Maybe because I did it after tapping.
No,
it.
thank you.
Anyways, and then you've
Oh,
got
okay.
scale, which is hovering over it. S for scale. Okay, S, X, Y,
Cole,
and Z.
he's my miracle child.
Like that. And if you want to cancel a movement, you can hit escape,
So how
or you
does
can
your
just right
miracle
click as
child
well,
get
and
cancer?
that'll also cancel the movement.
How does that happen?
Okay, that's
But yeah, so you can see you could do quite
mass.
a lot just with those
Basically a tennis ball
few
sized tumor.
little
at the base of his,
movements there.
base of his
Okay,
brain.
so that's how you move
we
stuff
were
about.
Rushed over to our
Now,
local children's
let's talk
hospital.
about the next thing you probably want to learn
and
is
that's
like
when
how
they
do
told
I
us
actually
he had
move my
cancer.
view? Like how could I
Couldn't
look
believe
and
something
explore the rest of the scene?
That big
And that
was
is also
inside his
done
little
with
head.
your
And
middle
everybody
mouse
always says
button.
the worst
Okay, so
sentence
if you
in the
click
world is
in
you have
on the
cancer.
scroll
It's
wheel
not. The
until
worst
it
sentence
clicks,
in the world is your child
you
has
are
cancer.
orbiting. That is how you orbit. And my laptop
colleges reached out to
people
us
with
into-
track pads, you are
So
panicking
Jude knew
right
exactly
now because
what
you
was
just
happening.
realized
They
you don't
already
have
had
a
a
middle
clinical
mouse
trial
button.
going on.
You can do it
discoveries
in a
that
pinch
St.
by
Jude
going to
makes
the top right hand
are
corner. There's a little
shared
gizmo.
freely
And
around
if you
the
just
world.
click and drag on that,
What was
you can
important
see
to me was knowing that
you are able
anything
to
that
free
we did would
rotate
help
around.
future.
Alternatively, you can also go edit preferences and then underneath input, if you click emulate 3-button mouse, this will enable you to holding down Alt. If you then hold down left click,
What do you say?
it just 3-button mouse. This input free rotate around. Alternatively, you can also go edit preferences and then underneath input, if you click emulate 3-button mouse, this will enable you to holding down Alt. If you then hold down left click, it just does the same thing as the middle mouse button,
Oh, that's
which is pretty cool. It's not bad.
okay. I'm gonna keep that on.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Oh, just to let everyone know, my thing just went to an ad because I'm not using my personal one to go look at these, and it's an ad for EVE Online.
Nice.
Is it gonna advertise that it lost like what is it, $100,000 in a single battle?
You're in the middle of this
Well,
beautiful
it didn't.
sci-fi environment,
A player or several did.
and you're seeing
That was I think
espionage,
when was the last time I heard about EVE Online? Some podcasters like has a friend that's really into it and went to Iceland. That was like 2018. That was the last time I heard about EVE Online.
whilst you're here, by the way, you
I mean, it's still relevant.
the size of your screen. You might want to change the resolution because by default it's 1, which on my 4K monitor you can see that my buttons and the text is really small. And if you crank it all the way up, you can get to something comfortable. 0.4 or 5 is what I would normally go for. And by the way, I'm snapping it like as you're dragging something. If you hold down Control, it's using incremental numbers, so keep it to
Interface.
number. I'd normally go like 1.4
resolution.
if I was using it myself, but it's a tutorial, so I'll keep it big so you guys can see what I'm getting at.
Okay, that's too much.
Cool. And
Keep it there.
another thing, just while I'm here, just mentioning, some of you are from other 3D software, 3ds Max, Maya, that kind of thing. You might find it helpful to know there's an industry-compatible key map that you could enable, which will, I'll put them up on the screen.
Hold on, let me pause this and just put this guy's thing in there. I think that's the right thing to do, right? I'll just put in my little thing.
Is it right up in there? Yeah, that's where it's supposed to go.
Just put in my notifications. Der Guru. And just there. That should go to. Oh, it didn't put all of it in there. What I'll do is just make it his, cause the YouTube link's too long. There, that should fit. My thing's fighting me. Don't fight me. Not today. There we go. Out of it. The tutorial you following? I just put in my notifications. But I'll put the link here. I'll put the first video that I'm following. Here you go. I don't know if it's good or not. I'm assuming it is because it's literally called Blender, from the guy literally called Blender Guru. So I'm assuming it's good. If not, that's a branding issue. It's good. I'll take your word for it. Again, I'm putting some trust here on some branding. That may be the most dangerous decision I've done today. And I decided to just load up on
you
Crazy
woke up,
before
so-
I ran. Oh, that's true. I also did decide to wake up.
That's always dangerous.
Tutorial, you're in the right place. Okay. Glad to know donuts are in fact are the staple for tutorials. Homer Simpson would be very happy.
Yeah, but it's more common keyboard shortcuts if you use to other software. But for this tutorial series and everyone else, I recommend sticking to the Blender one because, of course, all the
pros
hotkeys
and
and everything
seminars,
you
I
learn
think.
whilst learning
Oh,
Blender will be for this
I guess there would be pros and
hotkey
and
thing. Anyways,
everything.
all right.
Well,
okay,
thank you
so
for
that
putting-
is, that's
Making me feel comfortable with my choice.
Yeah, you can
My
see
very
as I
rash
orbit
choice.
around, it's like locked on to my middle of my screen here, okay? If I want to move somewhere else, that is pan, which is shift middle mouse button. Okay, now I'm shifting my view
Oh, that's how that
somewhere else
works.
where I can pan around that place and shift it again.
I was playing with this yesterday. I couldn't figure out how to pan at all.
Use this, move the view, this little hand icon thing at the top there. Do invest in a mouse, please. You will need it for 3D. You really should get a mouse. It's going to be tough. The other thing that I'm doing right now is I'm using the scroller to zoom in and out. You can also use this little magnifying glass up there, or hold down Control, and then again click in on the middle mouse, and that will use a smooth movement rather than the scroll wheel, which is quite jagged.
Middle mouse button to spin.
Okay, cool. So let's say
Good luck.
you've moved the cube all the way over there. Like, okay, so you
I'm gonna
could, if
give
you
someone
wanted to go
motion
and
sickness
inspect
by
it,
accident. I'm gonna give myself
you
motion
could,
sickness by accident.
Work your way over there by using shift middle mouse button to pan over there. But it is far easier to just learn the hotkey.
Am I no longer specialized?
Period.
What?
Which will focus on any selected.
That's so much industry. What are you smoking?
So if I want to go to my camera over there, I can select my camera, and number pad period will take me over to there. Again, my laptop alternative way to do it is hold down the tilde key, which is that weird key underneath your escape key you've probably never used before. That brings up a pie menu with a bunch of view options.
Oh.
And view selected is focus. View selected will take you there. Okay, cool. So we've learned
because you can just
orbiting
zero
with middle mouse, shift
pad to see the
middle
view.
mouse to pan, and then
Yeah.
control middle mouse to zoom in and out or scroll.
There's gonna have to be more stuff
the
I
other
just
one you
do
probably want to learn
off just to learn.
is align
But I'm learning.
two axes, because it's something that you like new beginners often end up like upside down, and they're like, "How did this happen?" So you can go to bring yourself the right way up just by clicking one of these letters on your axes up here. Okay, so if you click that, I'm now the
Oh,
right
it's
way
like a
up.
graph.
Yes, I'm the right way up.
Good old
I'm just focused
graphs
on a
and
weird part of the
fractions.
scene. That's why it's very weird. Alternatively,
I'm
instead of
assuming
these
it
sort of
takes
the three
time.
axes that you could snap
God
yourself
help
to,
me.
You can also
My
learn the
thing-
hotkeys,
no, that's
which
just
is number pad 1 for front
My
view.
software being weird.
For just
For Twitch.
$67, you can make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera.
1 for front view, 3 for side view, and 7 for top view. You can also learn the hotkeys, which is number pad 1 for front view, 1 for front view, 3 for side view, and 7 for
No.
top view. That's only number pad. It doesn't work for
I think I'm
keys
upside
on the
down.
top unless you wanted to enable that over here. and
There we go.
number pad
Figured it out.
do that.
Half
Yeah,
of
so
technology
that's,
is just fucking
that's
around
it.
till you
Well,
figure it out.
You might also find, you'll notice, sorry, that in this view, this is orthographic mode. Okay, so we can't see the other sides of our cube right now. It's a weird looking cube, but we can't see the other sides because this is orthographic mode. It's like looking at it with like a focal length of like infinity, right? So there's no depth in our scene right now, which is actually really handy, and it defaults to it for this aligned to view thing. Immediately, because you usually want that, but the hotkey for that is number pad 5, and that will take you in and out of perspective mode. You can also do it up there, like that. You can see the difference. Oh, and another way that you could see align to view, because there's a couple of ways. You could also use that tilde key. That'll take you to the top, the right, the side, etc. You could also use the viewport. You could change those. It's also got the hotkeys there if you happen to forget them. And the other way is the same as ZBrush, if you're familiar with ZBrush. I just cleared the location of that with Alt-G. You don't need to remember that one, that's a weird one. Similar to ZBrush, holding down Alt whilst middle mouse button orbiting will also snap it to the nearest axes, which is also really handy as well. So if I'm like moving around or like moving up, just hold down Alt and it'll just snap it there, which is really handy. So that's kind of the 3D viewport. We'll obviously get way more into this as we delve into the other lessons. But whilst we're here, these other sections over here. So on the right hand side, this is your properties. And as you can imagine, it's the properties of things in the 3D viewport, or the scene. You can change render settings or things here. And look, there's a lot here. Like I would strongly recommend
Oh, fuck, there's a
trying
lot.
to learn all the values, because you're not going to remember them anyway. We'll go through them as they're needed in this tutorial series. I think the best way to learn is to just do for something that you need to do. So that's what I try to teach. These options, some of these options will change depending on what is selected. So like if my camera is selected, you can see I get a camera icon, and then I can change some camera settings. If my cube is selected, I get some material settings. Right, I can click material, I can change the color to red, and I can see a beautiful gray red color. It's a weird looking red. The reason it's not changing over here in the 3D viewport is because, again, this is a simplified view of the final render. So there's no material properties in this view. We'll get to
I
the
made it
viewport
pink.
rendering
You
later
can't
on.
see it, but I made
For
it
now,
pink.
you would see it though.
I vote
if
pink.
you were in
My
render
cube.
again, F12 to do an actual
Disgusting.
render.
I know, right?
I don't-
At the top
I don't
of
need to know about your cube.
we have got a outliner. So this is keeping a running inventory of everything that you've got in your 3D viewport at the moment. So we've got 3 objects and we've got 1 collection. So collection is just, it's like a folder basically. It's a simple way to think of it. So you can like organize things. You can rename things just by double clicking on it. Yeah, whatever. right? And so that'll automatically update as you add things to the scene. Like if I was to duplicate my object, which I can do by hitting Shift D to duplicate, you can see there's created another object right up there in the outline. So if I ever like lose something and I'm like, oh, where's that thing? I can just find it on here and then just, you know, bam, whoops, bam. Oh, by the way, I just accidentally tapped number pad 0, which is how you can look through the camera view. You could also do it by hitting the little camera icon on the right there.
I did it. I
Or by
made
going
another
viewport,
cube.
camera, or by hitting the tilde key. So there are
So like step 1, how to make a box.
options depending
Well, I made
on
a second box.
what
I'll
device
automatically
or
start with the
whatever it is
box.
that you're looking at. I deleted something by hitting X. You could also do it by hitting delete. By the way, I'm throwing a lot of keys at you, keyboard shortcuts. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're starting. So I created a keyboard shortcut PDF, and the link for that is in the description. It's just a list. It's like 3 or 4 pages of the most common hotkeys that you'll need to learn, or you might need to reference as you're using Blender. So you can basically load it up on another monitor whilst you're working, and you've got it there as reference if you need it. I used to make it like a bonus for signing up for my newsletter, but now I'll just make it free. So you don't have to subscribe. You can just click that link, view it, and hopefully that'll make
Oh,
it
I'm 100% stealing this.
to use Blender.
I mean,
You can still subscribe
downloading.
to my newsletter. Weekly newsletter on tutorials, artworks, and things that I find in 3D.
Make sure this is still going. Oh,
No, sweet.
it's now on Rainy Jazz Cafe. Slow jazz music and coffee shop ambiance for work, study, and relaxation. You know, it's already. Why is it so dark in my room? Hold up.
It's nighttime.
I mean, it's only 7:30 into summer. There we go.
Do I have a fire station on my spaceship? I haven't had a fire yet. Well, seeing as I just put that out there, I should probably build.
No. What you have to worry about is Hillary.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that's the single most important event in the world right now.
Is it? I'm paying it 0 attention. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, I need to build another docking bay.
Oh, this is wonderful. At the same time that hurricane's happening, there was a magnitude 5 earthquake just northwest of Los Angeles.
Cool.
What did Los Angeles do to piss off God?
I don't know. Exist, probably.
You're right. I can't think of a worse sin than existing.
You're very creative, are you?
I think I prefer non-existence. Alright, let's go to the next.
What an edgelord.
I cut myself for how edgy I am.
Imagine if you could design products as quickly as your ideas flow.
This tutorial series was brought to you by my company Polygon. High quality models and textures for better renders. Alright, enough faffing around, as my late grandfather would say. We have learned the basics of the interface, all the hotkeys, we've fooled around. Now we're going to start building that donut. Okay, so we are going to delete a default cube, which is just the delete key X, which is the old shortcut.
I
We're
deleted
going
the
to
cube.
replace it with something new. So to add a new object, you need to go up to add. Up here you get this little list, or you can hit the hotkey, which is what I'm going to be using for the tutorial, Shift A. And truthfully, most of these options, a lot of the options you rarely use. Like speaker, I don't think I've ever used. Most of the time what you're looking for is mesh. Because to render anything, you really need to start with a mesh. Like, if you followed like a character tutorial, you might be surprised when they're like, alright, start with a cube, and then, you know, we'll bip-bidi-boo, and we'll form the character eventually from that, right? But you have to start with something. So usually you pick the object which most resembles
A
what it
monkey?
is you're trying to create. And in this
Okay.
case, there's a really easy one. It's the donut-shaped one. The
Taurus.
Taurus. That is a word I never would have learned, except for Blender. I would have called that a donut, but evidently the mathematicians decided they need a special word for it. Okay, when you add an object and do certain actions actually in Blender, you get options straight after adding it, okay? But they're kind of hidden because they're trying to stay out of the way unless you need them. And it's down there in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little box, which if you click it, it expands. And then you get options like the resolution and the size of it and everything. Now, if you don't see that box, it's probably because you accidentally clicked off it, okay? It'll only show it after you've just added it. If you click off it, it assumes you're fine with it, you're good, okay? Now, if you haven't done another action since then, if you haven't edited and clicked on something else or whatever, you can temporarily bring it back one last time, really, until you do something else with F9. Okay, so F9 will bring those same options back, just add your cursor, basically. But if you don't see it, then, just re-add it, delete it, re-add it, and you'll get those options back again. Okay, so with this, let's make some changes to it. Okay, so for starters, this is a very thin donut. And you want to know this maybe, but this is the third time I've made this donut beginner series. Every time there's a new version of Blender, I make this series again. So this is number 3. And basically, for the last 5 years of my life, I have been seeing every day on Twitter somebody tags me in their donut renders. And I've become very good at
Okay, I see those.
realizing
really
the
cut.
attributes that make donuts look good. And I think the best donuts are the ones that look thick.
He's telling me to
The
make a
ones that
thick
look
donut.
Like, oh yeah, I want to sink my teeth into that because it's got a lot of
How
icing,
thick?
It's got a lot of dough. I don't know, just something about a fat donut. Just like, yeah, that looks
He
good.
said just something
So
about a
I'm
fat
going
donut. Oh,
thick.
yeah.
Okay. And then the major segments and the minor segments. These are, as you can probably see, we'll call it the resolution of our donut, but it's the amount of geometry. Okay, so this you are probably tempted to go like really high because this is what I did when I first started using Blender in 3D. I'm like, I'm trying to make something high quality and realistic, so it's got to be smooth. Okay, so I'm going to go really high with this. It's actually the opposite. You do not want that. I immediately realized when I started using this is a terrible idea. For one, you can't go back, okay? When you go high. You can, if you go low, you can add other things, which is what we're going to do, to make it smoother, but it's harder to go back. And also with this, it takes longer to render. It's harder to work with because it's a bigger file. Your viewport slows down, your computer's whirring away harder. And also it is harder to work with, okay? When you enter edit mode, and we're going to do this later, like do some edits and stuff here, I have to work with this many vertices.
Oh, Jesus.
And that is just too much. So you actually want the exact opposite. So we want to keep it as minimum. Okay, so the minimum amount of detail depends on what it is you're trying to create. We could go like really low, but we're actually going to use part of this donut for the icing. So I'm trying to think, what am I going to do with the icing? Am I going to make some like dribbly bits going down it? I don't know. Having done this a few times, I think I'm going to go with around like somewhere around 40 to 20. Something like that. Let's go 16. 16 looks good. Okay. By the way, and you
for this.
would never know this because how could you if you're a beginner? But like, it's also a good idea to try to keep square faces because as a general, if you're making something organic and it's going to be smooth, if it's got rectangular faces, it can like stretch the shading and things just start to move. So I'm trying to keep it generally to a square face. It doesn't have to be hard, something like that. All right, then I'm going to click off it and I'm done. And I can't get those options back temporarily with F9. But you get the idea. Okay, cool. So, great. Let's talk about, first of all, the size of this donut, okay? Because although it looks like, what is the scale of our scene here, right? We're like looking into the distance there, like, how big is this grid floor? We don't know. It could be microscopic. It could be, 500 meters. It could be landscape size. We don't know. We actually do. Okay, so each one of these grid squares here, is it 1 meter or 2? I think it's 1 meter. Hang on.
1 meter?
Yes, it is 1 meter. Okay, So this, actually, the size of our donut is humongous. It is 3 meters by 3 meters. Okay. So if you, sorry, I didn't tell you that one. N. Will bring up your properties. Very handy, convenient shortcut. You just bring it up when you want to learn. Click on your object, then go to item, and then you can see details right here. Okay. So it's 3 meters by 3 meters, which is like roughly like 2 people laying down lengthways.
I got a big donut.
By the way,
2 people sized
speaking
donut.
of that, if you are American, you can change your units to be wacky imperial. You can get
Okay, hold up. I'm stopping this right now. I need to ask you. He's giving me an option. Should I be, you know, like everyone else, do metric system, or should it be a true blood American and do the imperial system?
Are you American?
I mean, legally.
Then why the fuck are you asking me that question?
You're right. I should just keep it as is.
9.9.
Because the ultimate sign of America is to rebel against America.
That's correct. There you
that's
go.
That's
You
why
passed the test.
That's why all those people that went there on January 6th are real Americans, right? That's why they're saying that, right?
Yeah, 100%. Why am I training colonists if I haven't found a viable planet yet? Seems stupid.
Because you're pretending to have hope, but you don't care anymore.
Apparently. So, one of the crew members didn't believe I was really a human because I valued their entertainment over like what was it like over resource management or something. Like, you care about us, you can't be human. It's like, damn.
I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, that's what totally human Ted Cruz is doing.
Yeah, sure.
Or totally human Ron DeSantis. Ron the Meatball Santis. Ron Pudding Finger DeSantis. All things Trump has labeled him, all things which have stuck.
I don't know. Okay, you can do that. I'm gonna use 3 meters.
Cool.
The rest of the world is also watching. Right. So this obviously needs to be much smaller. So we're going to scale it. Scaling the hotkey S. Scale it
Can we
right down.
please finish breaking down this apartment complex?
Which is around about, like, the biggest size would be around about like 10 centimeters, right? Yeah, roughly. So yeah, 10 centimeters is what we're looking for. Like, we could have done it when we added the torus, but that was radius. And radius, like, you gotta double it to make it. I'm like, just scale it down after we make it. It'd be much easier to figure out. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do is apply the scale, because, and this is another thing you would never know if you're a beginner, but it's sort of a running joke in the 3D world, but like, anytime you run into a problem with your mesh, something's not working, apply the scale. Because if your scale is wrong, other things tend to perform wrong, like modifiers and other things like that. So this scale here should pretty much always be 1 if you can, yeah, try and make it always 1, roughly speaking. So to apply your scale, you go Control A and then hit scale. Okay, so Control A for apply.
What's going on here? For now, we'll keep it like that. God, how to fucking just pan. That's right. The fucking thing died on me. Make that. That should be fine for now.
And then scale. And now it is scale is wrong. Other things tend to perform wrong, like modifiers and other things like that. So this scale here should pretty much always be 1 if you can. Yeah, try and make it always 1, roughly speaking. So to apply your scale, you go Control A and then hit scale. Okay, so Control A for apply and then scale. And now it is 1. Nothing has changed, but it just means things will work better in the future. And I'm just doing it because I know I'll forget it, and then they'll be like in the comments, why is mine messed up? And it's because of this part I didn't say hit. Anyway, all right. Okay, so how do we get rid of these jagged lines? Because that's probably your next question. How do we get rid of the jagged lines? There are two types of shading in Blender, or in 3D. Flat.
Why aren't you panning? Hit the wrong button. Second time I've done this. Or are you forgetting everything that I just learned? Oh, there's gravity. I'll defy that soon.
And smooth. So by default, it is flat. To change it to smooth, we just right click and then hit shade smooth. Okay. And when we do that, it is basically Blender, or in 3D, flat and smooth. So by default, it is flat. To change it to smooth, we just right click and then hit shade smooth. Okay. And when we do that, it is basically like, okay, so how do we get rid of these jagged lines? Because that's probably your next question. How do we get rid of those jagged lines? There are two types of shading in Blender, or in 3D, flat and smooth. So by default, it is flat. To change it to smooth, we just right click and then hit shade smooth. Okay. And when we do that, it is basically like for these faces here, it has taken, instead of treating each face separately, if they're an adjacent face, it's going to like stretch the light across. It's going to treat it as if it is one continuous face rather than 2 faces. So for organic objects, which means like things that are flowing, essentially rounded things maybe, you generally want smooth things, and then for like architecture or hard surface things, you want flat things, which are shade smooth. So we've got rid of that. That's good. Now you'll notice that it has not fixed the silhouette of our object. Okay, so shade smooth is a illusion. Okay, it's not actually adding any geometry, which is great because it's lightweight, it's easy to work with. It's not adding geometry, but your silhouette will still be broken. It will still look jagged. The only way to fix that is to add more detail. It's something that games, that's kind of the thing. If you want to look at a game, you're like, I wonder how poly this thing is. Like, look at the silhouette of a character or the shape of the building or something like that. And if you see jagged lines, you can basically see the mesh, like how high poly something is by the silhouette. So we can fix that with something called a subsurf operation, okay, or subdivision. And there are a few ways to do it, but the way we do it in Blender is with adding a modifier. Okay, so we click this little wrench, which is a spanner. It's been a while since I got my hands dirty. Anyways, it's the modifier panel over here, and then go up and underneath add modifier. If you click it, you get a whole bunch of different options here, and the one that we're looking for is, I mean, you use it so often. I wish it was at the top, but it's not. It's down here, subdivision surface. So you click that, and you might see that it has now smoothed out ever so slightly. You can see that edge there, the jagged edge is no longer there, or it is there, but it is less. So what is subsurf, or yeah, it's called subsurf, it's called subdivision. Subsurf modifier, what it is doing is for, and I'm going to temporarily turn this off by that little icon there, that's viewport. So if you uncheck that, it's disabling it for your viewport, and that one is for ready if you want to disable it for ready. Okay, so what it is doing is, you can see the edge there, right? If there are 3 points that make up that edge there, subsurf is now adding in, it's doubling the amount amount of detail across the entire mesh, not just the silhouette, the entire mesh. Every single point, it is now adding another one. Now, if you do 2 levels, so levels, viewport, and render, you can probably guess, that's just one operation. Okay? If I set this to 2, which is what you would see, set it to 2, which is what you see when you render it, it's doing it again. Okay, so it's, I guess the word's exponentially. It's exponentially adding detail every time you add this. So it's going to do it again and again and again. So obviously you don't want to go too high because otherwise your render times would be crazy. And yeah, you just want to keep it as low as possible. So often I keep it 1 or 0 whilst I'm working in the viewport, and then for the render I keep it like 1 or 2 or something. Anyways, all right. Okay, so we're spending a little long on this, but I need to just give you some background on how to make things look smooth without really going high risk. Okay. So as I teased before, this mesh is made up of little points, and we can edit those points and adjust things and whatnot by going into edit mode, which you can do by hitting tab on your keyboard. Okay. Another way is to go up to the top left-hand corner, change from object mode to edit mode. Okay. So tab is just a fast way to switch between those 2 modes. Another way, third way, because why not? Control tab will bring up the pie menu, and then you can enter into, along with just object and edit mode, but like texture paint, sculpt mode. We'll do a bunch of stuff later on, but edit mode. Okay. So in edit mode, we can see that we're now able to see the skeleton roughly that makes up our mesh. Okay. Each of these little points here is what makes up our mesh. So these points are called vertices. Sorry, a single one is called a vertex. Multiples are called vertices. Always get them confused because it's got an S on it as well. It's like vertices, like vertexes. It's not vertexes, it's vertices. Anyways, these little points make up our mesh, and on each tab. As I teased before, this mesh is made up of little points, and we can edit those points and adjust things and whatnot by going into edit mode, which you can do by hitting tab on your keyboard. Okay. Another way is to go up to the top left-hand corner, change from object mode to edit mode. Okay. So tab is just a fast way to switch between those 2 modes. Another way, third way, because why not? Control tab will bring up the pie menu, and then you can enter into, along with just object and edit mode, but like texture paint, sculpt mode. We'll do a bunch of stuff later on, but edit mode. Okay. So in edit mode, we can see that we're now able to see the skeleton
Are you on yet?
makes up our mesh. Okay.
I'm
Each
doing
of these little
stuff.
points here is what makes up.
For
our
some
mesh.
reason I
So these
cannot
points are
zoom,
called
and I can't tell you
vertices.
why.
Sorry, a single one is called a vertex. Multiples are called vertices. Always get them confused because it's got an S on it as well. It's like vertices, like vertexes. It's not vertexes, it's vertices. Anyways, these little points make up our mesh, and on each of these points, if you've got 3 or more, usually 4 is the ideal one you're usually aiming for when you're making meshes, you can make a face. Okay, so if I just delete, just hit X, and I'll show you what it looks like without a face. Okay, so between each of these points there, I'll add another one with F, there is a face. Okay, so all the points together make up a face, and then that makes up your mesh. So what this means is that with these points, if I want to on each of, we can see that our mesh, we're now able to see the skeleton roughly that makes up our mesh. Okay, each of these little points here is what makes up our mesh. So these points are called vertices. Sorry, a single one is called a vertex. Multiples are called vertices. Always get them confused because it's got an S on it as well. It's like vertices, like vertexes. It's not vertexes, it's vertices. Anyways, these little points make up our mesh, and on each of these points, if you've got 3 or more, usually 4 is the ideal one you're usually aiming for when you're making meshes, you can make a face. Okay, so if I just delete, just hit X, I'll show you what it looks like without a face. Okay, so between each of these points there, I'll add another one with F, there is a face. Okay, so all the points together make up a face, and then that makes up your mesh. So what this means is that with these points, if I want to change the shape of my mesh, I can.
What's happening
just open all the numbers, and for the cube now you get these arrows. And if you were to click and drag on any of those arrows, you would move it along that axis. If you clicked on the white circle in the middle, then that would just be Alt. If you then hold down left click, it just does the same thing as the middle mouse button, which is pretty cool. It's not bad. Whilst you're here, by the way, you might also, depending on the size of your screen, you might want to change the resolution. 4 or 5 is what I would normally go for. Use 3ds Max Maya. For this tutorial series and everyone else, as I orbit around, it's like locked on to my middle of my screen here, okay? If I want to move somewhere else, that is pan, which is shift middle mouse button. Okay, now I'm shifting my view to somewhere else where I can pan around that place and shift again. And if you're on a trackpad, you can also use this, move the view, this little hand icon thing at the top there. Do invest in this work.
It's just something I'm gonna deal with later.
Or just don't try hard and believe in yourself.
No, it's just I can't do my
Take some of these points
for
out.
tracking or anything.
Okay, and you use the exact same hotkeys as you did before. So to move something, it is G for grab. Okay, so if I move this up and then go back out of object mode, edit mode to object mode, you can see as I move around, it's now got a little lump on it. Okay, pretty handy. So I could do that, right? I could tweak the shape of my mesh. Okay, so let's say like I wanted to, you know, like make my donut look kind of like lopsided, or like add some detail, because this is necessary, by the way. Your brain, when it thinks about objects, because you've seen them so many times, it simplifies it in your head. You think of a donut as being round, but it's bumpy, it's lumpy. It's thrown in the fire. The guy who like made the dough was all lopsided. In your head, you just think of it as a round circle. The digital world will always give you the perfect thing, so you need to go in and add those imperfections. It's an old quote. I don't know who said it. Imperfection is the digital perfection. Yeah, I don't know.
There we go.
It's very, very true.
I got a
so,
lump.
Think of that. So,
My
anyways,
lovely
we need to
lady
add some
lumps.
lumps to it. And
Check
make
it
it
out.
make our donut lopsided. So, if we held down Shift, we could select multiple points, and then we could drag these out. I can do this. I can, slowly go through. Now, this is tedious, as I'm sure you can see. Clicking, lots and lots of clicking, little points, little points.
Let's
and
do
that's
some intense
really
propaganda.
I would do this. What I would do, which is a feature that you use all the time, and that is proportional editing. So if you
That's how you maintain control over a space station.
Okay.
Turn that on and off. What this will do is that now when I rotate scale or hit G to grab and move it, now it's actually grabbing vertices around it and it's moving it together as a whole. Now by default, your proportional size
What I
is
do with hydrogen?
so if I scroll all the time, and that is proportional editing. So if you click this little button at the top here, well, the hotkey for that is O. Turn that on and off. What this will do is that now when
What
I
does this turn
rotate
into?
scale or hit G to grab and move it, now it's actually
I haven't
grabbing
unlocked that
vertices
yet.
around it and it's moving it together as a
Ooh,
whole. Now, by
nuclear
default,
power
the
plant.
proportional size is
Nifty.
really high, okay? So if I scroll up, I can gradually bring the fall off down to what actually makes sense for my donut, okay? Now this was actually a point, I was reading the comments on the last video, the last version of this I made, and this was a point that a lot of people got stuck on. If you can't see this ring here, just keep scrolling up, because it is there. If you see top left hand corner, actually it gives you the measurement. As I scroll, you can see the measurement of my fall off. What you're looking for is something like a 0.04. If you can't see 0.04 meters, just keep scrolling up until you see it. And if you're on a trackpad, because those people also got stuck, because they're like, how do I scroll while I'm doing it? All you do is, on trackpad, you tap G, then do a single click, and then down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you've got those options again. And then you could adjust your proportional size to like a 0.04. And then, if you move, you should see the correct proportional fall. Really, guys, invest in a mouse, please. Going trackpad, look, it's fine for Facebook, but like you're doing stuff in 3D, you gotta have a mouse. Come on. All right. Okay, so now that I do this with my fall off radius, and if I just scroll up and down, I can adjust and I can make my donut look however I want, much more easily. Okay, make this part go out. Maybe make this part have like a little lump and sort of that. Maybe this middle part, sort of like this. Okay. And I'll do it here, something like that. Okay. No, that's a little lopsided. It's a little bit repetitive. What's on that side? And this is maybe a little bit too far. Just sort of playing with my eye. But I have to keep this for the rest of the donut, for the rest of the tutorial. So I'm trying to do it well.
Okay.
And something else, by the way, another hotkey. You can see that if I want to move this up, if I was to move it like this, right, it's moved everything also left to right as well, okay, because of my camera angle, okay. If I'm looking at something like this and I'm moving it, it is moving it across the donut, so it's scrunching everything going this way. That's not what I want. I want it to go directly up, so it means I have to get my camera angle like right down here to do that up. Alternatively, a better way, not to throw too many hotkeys at you, get my keyboard shortcuts if you haven't already, link in the description. But another hotkey is Alt-S, which instead of moving it just arbitrarily, this will now move it according to which direction those faces are pointing. And this is actually perfect for this exact case because we've got, points, rounded around it, and it's just, it's tedious to have to get my camera angle exactly right. When really I just want to be able to select certain parts and then pull them in and out. So Alt-S allows me to do that. The shrink and fatten tool. But other software, I think they call it move along walls or something like that. Right. And then maybe the base as well. We should make it a little bit lopsided on the base. That down. Something like that. Now there is a sculpt tool, which we'll talk about when we get to the icing.
Not what I meant to do.
That could also do this, but that is not the point of this tutorial. So I'm just doing proportional editing because, to be honest, this proportional editing is perfect for this kind of thing. Cool. So it's just entering into edit mode to do your changes, going into object mode to see how it looks, and then swapping back out with tab again. That's really all it is. I guess it's too thick on this side now. Too lopsided. I went too far with the imperfections. But that also comes into like the style of it. What you're doing. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, by the way, another side point I just mentioned when talking about object and edit mode. Okay? A big problem a lot of beginners have that I find is that later on you'll be like, I'll say, all right, so select your lamp and your camera or something like that. And they'll be like, I can't click on it. What's happened? It's because you are still in edit mode, okay? Edit mode means you cannot click on anything else other than the object that you are editing. You're still in this. When you switch back to object mode, you're now able to click on any object in your scene, but in edit mode, it is locked to that view. So if you can't click on things, just remember, check what mode you're in, probably in edit mode. Switch to object mode and you'll be fine. Okay. Just to finish on something completely random, because why not just throw it in there just as a little Easter egg for those of you that made it to the end of the video. Here's something cool. If you go to select, there's an option there for select random, and this will just select at random vertices on your mesh, and then you've got a little ratio thing you could change down the bottom there. Then, if you used Alt-S, you would basically make a lumpy looking donut. So it's kind of like a quick way. If you wanted to make a lumpy looking donut, you could do it that way. And also if you change the fall off type, okay, so this is that ring, that little circle that goes around, right? If you changed it from the smooth one to sharp, then you would make it something else, like a spiky donut. I don't know. It actually looks better without the subsurf and like flat. It's like, no, it does not. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking with that.
That's a treat.
Anyways, all right, just something random to finish on. Okay, so play with your donut, get something that you like, and then join me in the next part as we do the icing. So click here, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking delete this. Make a whole new file. Not going to save it. still there?
Mm-hmm.
Did you kill all humans yet? I'm assuming that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to save them.
There it goes. Shift A. Just gonna do that for now. Just to learn, so it's nice and big.
How big?
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Hot.
Now, how do you get to that smoothing?
Okay, so how do we get rid of these jagged lines? Because that's probably your next question. How do we get rid of those jagged lines? There are two types of shading in Blender, or in 3D, flat and smooth. So by default, it is flat. To change it to smooth, you just right-click and then hit Shade Smooth.
He's saying right click to shade smooth. For some reason, it's not popping up on mine. So it must be a different way. This is how you can add stuff separate from the object. Ah, here we go. Right here, object. Modifier, subdivide that shit. Code. Hell yeah. Random. Let's do this.
See? Clicking, lots and lots of clicking, little points, little points. And that's really because that's not the way I would do this. What I would do, which is a feature you use all the time, and that is proportional editing. So if you click this little button at the top here, well, the hotkey for that is O. Turn that on and off. What this will do is that now when I rotate scale or hit G to grab and move it, now it's actually grabbing vertices around it and it is moving it together as a whole. Now by default, your proportional
Nice lumpy ass donut. Ta-da! It's very basic right now. I'm getting the hang of it. Like, it's still donut shaped. Like, what are the... So, I don't know if they're donuts or not. Like, you know those, like, little things that don't have, like, that are glazed all over, but it's not frosting?
Is it a donut?
No. It's
What are you trying to
almost-
describe?
It's almost like a donut. Like, I think it's something technically different.
Glazed all over, but not frosted. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I can't describe it. If it's a donut, it's like a donut everyone hates. Because, like, the glaze is, like, bitter.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I think that's a you problem. There,
I don't think it is. I
there,
think it's
said it.
you
I
trying
said
to
it. I said
describe
it.
whatever the hell
I
you're
said it.
talking
You're
about.
the fucking problem. You're the fucking problem in this relationship.
Oh,
It's
okay.
donuts.
I think your lack of descriptive language is the problem, actually.
Probably. Question, should I go? Because I feel like I already accomplished more than I was anticipating. Oh, hold up. Let's see if I can render it. Well, let me save it first. Let's save. I don't know which document holds more shit. Put desktop for now. I don't know what any of that shit is. Donut. Donut underscore learning.
I mean, if that's what you call it.
Yeah, that is what I'm calling it. I'm glad you figured that the fuck out. Let's render it. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oh, you can't see it. Shit. Actually, let me fix it slightly. The light is there. gonna make it a pink donut to really show how much food poisoning's in there. Alright, let's see if I did this right. I didn't get the image right, but I did get everything else right. Alright, let's see if I can show this. There we go. Ta-da! It's a donut. There we go. Like you can see its shape, see the little shadows. It's not perfect, but it's like my first time. Let's see if we can change it up just a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can change the lighting specifically. Put the lighting right there.
I'm gonna hop off for the night.
Alright, I'm about to be done too.
Have fun.
Night.
Night.
So how's that look? Not bad for a first time. I'm sure many people have done it way better than me. But, you know, one thing at a time. Yeah. Save. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Like, I think that's a good stopping point before I really dig deep. It was my first time trying it, and I liked it. I like doing it. So, I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I'm gonna do this more often. I think I'm just gonna do this every Sunday. Just every Sunday and put it up on YouTube. And yeah. It's almost short. I'm hoping next time be like 2-3 hours. And I'll get to more. Oh, hold up, what's this? Sun? Oh! Hello, what's this? Hold up. I was about to sign up. I want to see what this. Oh, dear God! It looks like a fucking UFO. Like it's gonna appear in a fucking congressional hearing. Like, what the fuck is that? Quick, get me my Alzheimer pills. Oh, a spotlight. Hello. Now I'm just messing with shit. Oh no, no, just like a fucking rain cloud. Pop up, pop up. There we go. Look at this rain cloud. Rena. I just got it. I have to know. Look, I saw something. I needed the fucking answer. Oh wow, that actually looks pretty decent. Load. Damn it. No. There we go. That one looks almost artisanal. If it wasn't for the fact that if I ever saw a white fucking donut, I'm not touching it. I don't even want to look at it. I'm pretty sure the mold will jump into my eyes. But, well, I hope everyone enjoyed. Next week is going to be a bit more, but I liked it. I'm going to continue doing it. So, hope